Hey everybody, this is Shadow759. I'm actually here to tell you all about, like, from what the title says, Shadow and Silver watches behind the scenes. So I'm gonna tell you all how this all started by the Shadow and Silver stuff. I know all of you want me to do new videos on Shadow and Silver. Hey, the new Sonic game is out. Do the Shadow and Silver stuff. Here's the thing, it's gonna take a while and I'm gonna explain why, but first I want to talk to you all about the origins on how it all started on me and Silvernux actually started to do this whole Shadow and Silver stuff. And I hope that this actually inspires some of you out there who are inspiring video makers or voiceover people. So I hope that this actually inspires some of you once I tell you my story. So let us begin. Well, a few years ago, when when YouTube was like brand new to the public, I was on MSN. I was talking to some of my friends, and one friend actually linked me to a video, believe it or not, was Silvernux's video. But before he was even Silvernux, he was Knuckles the Kinna something I don't remember. But yeah, it was like a Mephiles and Blue from Imaginary Friends or something, like having a laughing competition. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I looked into the profile and I saw more of his videos, and I saw a Sonic clip of him voicing like the characters in it, like the Silver Says, and also like with his neighbor kid or something. I was like, wow, I was fascinated. I never seen like fan made videos before. He was the first one. Well, I have seen them, but only in Flash and Newgrounds. I never saw like fan made dubs or anything. So I was kind of fascinated, and I really wanted to do that as well. So I went to Staples and I got like a $6 microphone. It was crap. At first I was like, oh my god, this is so nice. And I even back then I started to notice how much crap it was getting. So eventually I mailed Silvernux and I said like, hey dude, blah blah blah, fan of your videos, I enjoy your work. I just talked to him. That was pretty much it. I didn't expect an email back from him. And when he replied to me, I was like, oh crap. And I said like, started to talk even more, and he replied to me, and it was back and forth. And then he lost his YouTube account, and I was like, god damn, oh well. And then one day I saw a video of his, and I was like, wait a second, is this his new name? Because YouTube took him down before. And I found out, holy crap, it is him. So I talked to him saying like, hey dude, before you get taken out again, can I have your MSN or something? And he said, yeah, sure, like I do enjoy talking to you. So we go on MSN, we talk. That's pretty much it. Like I asked him eventually like, hey, where can I find some Sonic 06 clips? And he gives me a link to them, and I downloaded it and started to do my own thing, because I was like, I kind of sound like Shadow the Hedgehog from what people told me, so here's my go on it, and I want to do some other stuff, whatever. I was just voicing for the sake of voicing, really. Because I really wanted it to get it out of my system, so yeah. And then I talked to Silvernux like, because he was just on my friends list for no reason. And then eventually he left a message saying like, oh my god, the new Naruto Shippuden was awesome. And I was like, oh, he watches Naruto too. That gives me a topic to talk to him about, finally. And I talked to him about Naruto, and then we went back and forth on talking about Naruto. So believe it or not, Naruto was the thing that got us like good friends. Not really Sonic. Sonic got us started, but like it was Naruto that got us like really started on talking to each other, because before we weren't talking that much, but now we're like, ever since then we just kept talking about whatever. So after the whole like we found out we have a lot in common by talking about Naruto and all that, I eventually talked to him saying like, "Hey, dude, do you want to do a Naruto dub one day? Because we're both fans of Naruto. We both do videos. So what do you say?" And he said like, "Sure, that actually sounds like fun. So but what are we gonna voice? And who's gonna voice who?" And I said like, "I don't really know." I was kind of hoping that you had the answers, and I was like, okay. We were just talking back and forth, and we were like, okay, I could voice this person, you could voice that person, blah 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 blah, and we were like, we weren't sure if we wanted to voice an anime or a video game or something. And then one day he was talking about like he wants to play a game called the Naruto game, like Unbreakable Bound or something, Bound. And then he showed me like a gameplay video, and I was like, "Hey, dude, this is kind of reminding me of Sonic Heroes because of the 3-team formation." And he's like, "Oh crap, you're right. That's actually pretty funny." And then we were just comparing it to Sonic Heroes so much, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I think we found our video. Let's do this video." And he's like, "Yeah, sounds good." So I became the voice of Naruto. He did the voice of Shikamaru and Neji. And we just started to write a script together, like, oh, Naruto's the speed type, Shikamaru's power for some reason. And we were like, what's Neji? And I said, like, Neji could be fly. And he's like, he doesn't fly. And I'm like, that's what makes it funny. And it's eventually I didn't even know that, like, that flying joke would eventually stick to me later on. So we got our Naruto dub out there, and he did the whole Hayden and Kazusu adventures thing. I got involved at one point, and of course YouTube removed those videos because of anime clips. And eventually, like, I remember one time, like, Sonic Unleashed was coming out at the time, and there was a trailer for it. And we both wanted to voice it. And I said, like, I was seeing the new Sonic Unleashed trailer, but I have no idea what to do. I'll probably do some movie voice guy voice, like just talking, making fun of it. Eventually that became Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. But I was thinking, like, maybe I'll just make something funny out of, like, making this sound like a really epic movie while it's not really. I don't know. And Silvernox is like, yeah, I'm on the same boat. I really have no idea what to do. And eventually the idea came from him saying, like, you know, I might actually do a Shadow and Silver, like, making a commentary, like my gameplay of Shadow and Silver plays some game. And I said, like, oh, that sounds good. And he said, yeah, like, we talked about it more, like a commentary on Shadow and Silver watching this. And I said, like, I can imagine Silver going up to Shadow saying, like, Shadow, you gotta watch this, you'll crap your pants. And Shadow's like, we don't even wear pants. And eventually we were liking the idea more and more, so we said, let's work on a script like this. And it's like, all right. We watched the trailer, and we were just making jokes back and forth, saying, like, oh my god, like, look at this scene and look at that scene. And we talked about, like, how goddamn catchy that theme song is, like, endless possibilities. And I'm like, I could imagine Silver, like, singing the song, like, annoying Shadow at first, and then Shadow eventually sings it because he can't deny how unbelievably catchy that song is. And, like, I see it. And eventually the script was done, and we're like, okay, now here's the thing, who's voicing who? And I said, people always say I sound like Shadow, so I guess I could do Shadow. I can't really sound like Silver. And he's like, all right, I'll do Silver, you do Shadow. All right, we got a project thing going. So we eventually did it. People really loved it, which was awesome. And I was like, huzzah! And people started to recognize me more because I was working so much with Silvernox, which was awesome. So that happened, and we're like, You know something? Maybe we should do another one. We thought it was a one-shot type deal, and we're like, nah, let's do another one. And Dark Brotherhood came out, and we're like, let's do a Shadow and Silver watches on that. We did it, and eventually, like, after writing the whole watching thing, Silver Nux said like, "Oh, I have a more ideas on this whole Shadow and Silver," and I said, "What?" And he started to make some Pizza Hut jokes, and we're like, "Okay, Silver is now working for Pizza Hut because that's how ignored he is," and then that became a thing apparently, and we did so many things like eventually I don't know. We just kept on going on, and people started to demand it even more, and it was awesome for the both of us. We really love it because it's mostly me and him, like just watching these trailers, just coming, just making jokes and mixing our jokes on the trailers that we saw into what Shadow and Silver said. Because Silver Nux, unlike many people that I know, he's the one that kind of gets my way of thinking, because when we're like writing a script, we think about what the character would say instead of what's funny. We want like Shadow to have like a definite like jackass personality, and Silver is the one that's like really, you know, level minded. He keeps Shadow in check, and he's like, well, it's not that bad, but yeah, I freaking hate him. They both agreed on the fact that they both hate Sonic, and the way me and Silver Nux like progress our stories, the more Shadow and Silver's personalities came out, and it's like every time if one of them comes out of personality, people would actually find it funny. And that's what's awesome about it, because people started to know like what these characters are. A lot of people think that I hate Silver the Hedgehog because of all the jokes that I keep making. Like, you know, Shadow keeps abusing him, other people abuse him. But I said it many times, and I'll say it right now. Silver the Hedgehog is like Peter Parker to me. It's because he's the really nice guy that gets the short end of the stick. He doesn't like get away with things. He just, yeah, he's just a guy that everybody just ignores, pushes over. And people said like, well, why doesn't Silver the Hedgehog ever bully anyone else? And I'm like, then he that's not his character. He's the nice guy. He treats everyone nicely. He's just like what he is in the games, but I fleshed out his personality. I remember seeing that at a comment once, and I'm like, yeah, somebody really understands that. Like, he's just the overall nice guy, and if he goes nuts, then you see him going nuts. And Shadow the Hedgehog, well, he's just a complete jackass, but he does at one, like, you know, later on in story, he does actually care for Silver, thinks of him as a friend. Sonic Reminiscent, a prelude to Shadow, that shows it a lot, that how much he cares for Silver, even though he will never admit that they're friends and stuff. So, yeah. All of that is how Shadow and Silver watches became a normal thing. Eventually, like, I had to go to college. Silver Nux had to go to college. I work pretty much a lot, and he works at college a lot. So we don't really have that much time, but I do mail him. Like, I recently mailed him saying like, hey, we should probably like start up a script and stuff whenever you have the time, and we will. So Sonic and Shadow and Silver watches Sonic Lost Worlds will come out, but the thing is, we're really busy people, so that's why we're not getting that many, and I can't really work on the Shadow and Silver stuff without him because, well, he's the other half that makes it really funny. And I can't do that all by myself on doing commentaries. I could write it and I could make someone else voice Silver, but it wouldn't be the same thing. Silver Nux he's literally the Silver in my videos. So that's all I gotta say. I'm running out of time. So I hope this inspired some of you, and I'll see you all later.